All right, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are taking a seriously fascinating look at how you can literally reshape the physical structure of your brain. Today, we're breaking down some incredible insights from recent neuroscience, specifically around brain training principles. And the core concept here? Well, it's that your brain isn't static. It's not set in stone. It is constantly rewiring itself based on your daily targeted habits. And honestly, the best part is that you don't need to dedicate hours and hours a day to see a massive transformation. We're going to focus on a highly specific, totally actionable framework, the 20-minute brain rewire. So let's get into it.
So, you know that feeling when you've been sitting at your desk for like 3 hours, you've barely gotten any actual deep work done, yet somehow you feel completely and utterly drained? Yeah, you are definitely not alone in that. Our source material highlights a phenomenon that explains exactly why this happens, and it's called the switching cost. Basically, every single time you jump from a spreadsheet to a text message or from an email to a social media tab, your brain pays a cognitive tax. Constant task switching drastically reduces your mental efficiency, and it completely spikes cognitive fatigue. You feel exhausted because just managing all those constant distractions is literally exhausting your brain's resources. To fix this exhaustion, we first really need to understand neuroplasticity. We've got to bust the myth of fixed intelligence right now. You are not just born with a set amount of brain power, period. Neuroscience actually proves that your brain constantly rewires its physical structure based on what you repeatedly do. Every single habit strengthens certain neural pathways and weakens others. That means your daily lifestyle is literally shaping your brain right this very second. If you feed it distractions, it adapts to distraction. But if you feed it focus, it adapts to strength.
Which brings us right into habit one, train your focus like a muscle. Look, right now, for a lot of us, our focus muscle is totally atrophying. It's getting weak because of this modern dopamine overload of endless open tabs and pinging notifications. We don't really ask our focus muscle to lift heavy weights anymore. We kind of just let it flit around lightly from one shiny object to the next. So how do we actually fix it? Well, the magic number is 20. Just 20 minutes. You don't need some intense 5-hour marathon session. The reason 20 minutes is the absolute sweet spot for improving focus is because of how the brain overcomes resistance. When you start a hard task, you experience what's called limbic friction, which is basically that annoying neurological craving to switch to something easier. It usually takes the brain about 5 to 10 minutes of concentrated effort to push past that friction and actually settle into a focused state. So 20 minutes guarantees you cross that threshold, forcing your brain to adapt to deep work without totally burning you out.
So here is the practical system you can start using today. Start with just 20 minutes of completely uninterrupted focus every single day. Pick one single task, physically remove your phone from the room, silence every single notification on your computer, no music with lyrics, just pure, unadulterated concentration for exactly 20 minutes. And listen, you've got to expect some serious mental resistance at first. You're going to feel restless. You will suddenly remember a random email you just absolutely have to check right now. That is just your brain going through withdrawal from constant stimulation. You just have to push through it.
Think about the transformation we're really aiming for here. A distracted brain is impulsive, it's foggy, and it's weak. But a focused brain, that is calm, powerful, and incredibly sharp. By practicing just 20 minutes of daily resistance training against distraction, you're building a level of cognitive power and discipline that will absolutely bleed into every other area of your life. You are physically moving your mind away from that constant fog and into a state of sharp clarity.
But hey, you can't train a muscle if you don't let it recover, right? So let's look at habit two. Sleep like your brain depends on it.
It's crazy how many people try to hack their focus while trying to survive on like 5 hours of sleep. It's literally like trying to charge your phone with a broken cable and then wondering why the battery dies so fast. A tired brain simply cannot become a strong mind. Sleep is not just rest for the brain. Sleep is active maintenance for the brain. While you are unconscious, your brain is actually hard at work, clearing out waste products, organizing memories, and repairing those neural pathways we just talked about. Most importantly, a lack of sleep massively weakens activity in your prefrontal cortex, which is the exact part of your brain responsible for self-control and rational thinking. Bottom line, if you want 20 minutes of laser focus tomorrow, you need proper maintenance tonight.
Moving on to habit three, which is all about how you consume information. Read things that challenge your brain. The reality is this: if you only consume shallow, fast-cut, bite-sized content, your thinking will naturally become, well, shallow. Your brain adapts to whatever you repeatedly feed it. So to combat this, a really actionable step is to read materials slightly above your comfort level for just 10 pages a day.
Now, don't go pick an impossible, dense academic journal, but grab something about psychology, philosophy, or human behavior. Force your brain to think a little deeper. Pause and actually ask yourself, wait, do I agree with this? How can I apply this to my life? This active processing dramatically strengthens your critical thinking and analytical skills, building up a much, much sharper mind.
Let's shift gears to habit 4, exercise for brain power. We usually think of exercise purely for physical appearance or maybe heart health, but it is actually one of the most powerful forms of brain training in existence. Just 20 to 30 minutes of daily movement radically alters your brain chemistry. It massively increases blood flow to the brain, it releases chemicals that are absolutely crucial for memory and learning, and it drops your stress hormones. But beyond the chemistry of it all, it builds incredible self-discipline. Every single time you get up and take a 20-minute walk or do a quick workout despite feeling totally lazy, you are training your brain's ability to act without relying on motivation. Next up is habit 5, protect from dopamine overload. Our modern life is literally engineered to hijack your attention. Apps, notifications, and endless scrolling feeds give your brain such high, constant spikes of dopamine that normal, everyday life starts to feel painfully boring. When your brain adapts to that kind of instant, extreme stimulation, simple, productive tasks like reading or working suddenly feel mentally exhausting. The solution isn't to throw your smartphone in the ocean, it's to create what we call dopamine boundaries. Give your brain some much-needed recovery time. Practice just sitting in silence without entertainment. Take a walk without scrolling on your phone. Actually eat a meal without watching a YouTube video. When you reduce that excessive dopamine input, your focus naturally returns, your motivation stabilizes, and those simple activities become enjoyable again. Habit 6 is absolutely critical if you want to keep that focus intact. Learn emotional control. A truly sharp brain isn't just one that can solve math problems quickly. It has to be emotionally stable. Without emotional regulation, we just default to automatic, impulsive reactions, like snapping in anger or panicking under a tight deadline, which can honestly ruin opportunities and relationships. So here is a highly actionable 3-step process to fix that. Step 1, create a pause. Stop reacting instantly. Just breathe. Step 2, observe the emotion. Instead of saying, I am angry, which kind of makes you the emotion, say, I notice anger. That tiny, tiny linguistic shift creates objective distance and significantly reduces mental chaos. And step 3, improve your physical state. Because as we've learned, poor sleep and a lack of exercise make emotional control infinitely harder. Finally, habit 7 is what ties this whole system together: consistency over motivation. Motivation is just a temporary feeling, guys. Some days you will feel super driven, and other days you just won't. If your brain training relies entirely on feeling motivated, your progress is going to be incredibly sporadic, and inconsistency weakens the very neural pathways you are trying to build. Instead, you've got to focus on small, repeated actions. Our 20 minutes of daily focus vastly outperforms rare, intense efforts. Reading 10 pages a day is so much better than trying to read 100 pages once a month. Exercising 20 minutes daily easily beats one extreme workout followed by 2 weeks of sitting on the couch. Neural pathways change through repetition. Over time, your brain starts to see these actions as totally normal behavior, rather than some huge forced effort. So when you put it all together, you have a complete, cohesive system to rewire your brain. From pushing through friction with 20 minutes of uninterrupted focus, to repairing your prefrontal cortex with sleep, reading deeply, moving daily, unplugging, and pausing. The rule of 20, those small 20-minute daily investments, is literally the perfect, approachable starting point for anyone looking to stop cognitive fatigue and start building a really powerful mind. It proves that massive change doesn't actually require massive, exhausting effort. It just requires targeted, daily consistency. I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. As we've learned throughout this explainer, neuroplasticity never stops. Your brain is always adapting to your lifestyle. So I want you to ask yourself right now, taking a hard look at your daily habits, what is your brain adapting to? Is it adapting to distraction, constant impulses, and overstimulation? Or is it adapting to focus, discipline, and clarity? The choice is entirely in your hands, and it only takes 20 minutes a day to start changing it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.